Hi folks, if you just got an Instant Pot, welcome to the club. Which Instant Pot did you get? Let us know in the comments below. I know you're probably really excited, but looking at the box, you might be a bit overwhelmed or maybe even a little bit intimidated. That's perfectly normal, but don't worry, we'll show you the way to set up your Instant Pot. Here's a quick glance at what you'll be expecting inside. This is a 5.7 liter Duo multi-use Instant Pot. Let's take a look at what's inside. First, here's a warning card. Don't worry, the Instant Pot is very safe to use. But still make sure to have a quick read on these safety warnings. Then here's the power cord, which you'll use to plug in the Instant Pot into the mains power. To open the Instant Pot, you will need to follow these markings. Hold the lid and twist it in the anti-clockwise direction and lift it. Let's see what's inside. This is a steamer rack. It's a very useful tool for cooking in the Instant Pot. You will also notice that different models will have different buttons or dials. They also might look a bit different, but they essentially all have four basic parts, starting from the power cord, the inner pot, the outer pot, and the lid. First, let's take a look at the outer pot. Here's where you'll find the display with the dials or the buttons, and also where you'll plug in the power cable towards the back. Inside the pot, make sure you take out the warning card. There is a heating element inside here. This is where you'll be placing the inner pot. Now let's take a look at the inner pot. This is the inner pot. It's made of stainless steel and is very durable. You can wash it in your dishwasher. Every time before you cook your food, make sure that your inner pot is inserted into the outer pot. Inside, you'll be able to see some markings. Here, there is a half fill line, and here, there's a 2/3 line. Make sure the Instant Pot is never filled above this line. Almost every Instant Pot comes with a steamer rack like this one. You open it and you place it inside the inner pot. Let's talk about opening and closing your Instant Pot's lid. First, you'll need to find this inverted triangle and match it to the triangle here. Once done, you should hear the lid pop close. Now to close the Instant Pot's lid, you rotate it in clockwise direction. Now to unlock your Instant Pot, you rotate it in anti-clockwise direction and lift the lid. This may take a few tries, so don't worry. Now let's take out this warning label. To do so, we have to pull up this little knob called a venting knob. Now you can put this back in. It's okay for it to be wobbly and loose. Now you need to ensure a couple things before you get started cooking. First of all, ensure that there's nothing in between the inner pot and the outer pot. Once you have the inner pot safely installed, get your food in. Next, make sure in the silicone seal there is no food stuck. Also make sure not to yank it out to avoid damaging the seal. Another safety feature in this Instant Pot is this anti-blocking shield. It is one of the safety mechanisms which prevents food from getting stuck in the venting knob. So just make sure that this little guy is here before you close the lid. Closing the Instant Pot, now we come back to the venting knob, which allows you to alternate between venting and sealing positions. Once again, it can be a bit wobbly, but it's totally fine. Right next to it, we have the floating valve pin. This tells you the pressure situation inside the Instant Pot. Generally, when this pin is fully up, it means that the Instant Pot has generated enough steam inside, and when it has fully dropped down, your Instant Pot has released all the pressure, so you can safely open the lid. Now let's plug in the power cord. Behind the venting knob is this little plasticky condensation cup which can come out and be put back on fairly easily. This helps collect all the liquid dripping out of the lid or coming out of the venting knob. There's a nifty little trick that you can do with the lid. You can take it off and you can place it on either side of the handle, like so. This is really helpful when you're cooking something inside and you just want a temporary stand. But be careful not to tug on it to avoid damaging the handle. Now, let's turn on the Instant Pot. There we go. Happy cooking, folks.